Hello and welcome to part 3 of my Canvas tutorials. In this video, we will be adding a module, an individual assignment, page, discussion, and quiz to that module. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and click on the course navigation bar, the modules link. And like I said in earlier videos, you probably have a sample module that has items in it. Mine is empty. You can leave yours there for now. We don't have to take it away. But what we do want to do is we want to not add to the sample one. We want to create a new module. So I'm going to hit this plus module blue button. And I'm going to go ahead and call this plant unit. Okay. So you'll see now I have my plant unit. I'm going to go ahead and publish this right away. By clicking that, you'll notice that green changes. And then I am going to hit this plus, and you'll see that I have some different options I can add here. So we're going to start out with a page. And I don't want to add, this is letting me add the home page. That wouldn't make sense here. I want to add a new page, and I'm going to say Introduction to Plants. I'll go ahead and add that item. And if I click on the page, right now it's a blank page. We just have that top level heading, which is heading level 1. I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And I'm going to say, welcome to the plant unit. During this unit, we will work on answering the question, what do plants need to survive and thrive? Okay. Maybe I'll even say answering the following question. I want to add emphasis to this. I want this to really stand out. And so then I am going to put a question mark there, and I will capitalize this, and I'm going to apply a style here. This will be heading level 2. Okay, what do plants need to survive and thrive? And I'll say during this unit, we will meet the following objectives. Now, for sake of time in this video, I'm not going to put my objectives in there, but I will show you how I might format them. So I'm going to probably put them, if I click on these 3 dots, I can go ahead and get some different kinds of lists. You'll notice that we have bulleted lists, and we also have numerical, lettered, and Roman numerals. I'm going to go with the regular. And so I'm just going to put it in abbreviate OBJ1, OBJ2, OBJ3. Then I'm going to say, and if I hit enter twice, it exits the list. Please click the next, put that in quotes, next button at the bottom page to begin. One thing when we use modules, it puts our individual pages, discussions, assignments, it puts them in a unit that students can click through in a linear order. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, like I've done on previous pages, I'm always going to click this Save and Publish button. Okay, and maybe it would have been good to have a picture in here. In my last video, I showed you how to do that, but I would encourage you to maybe add a picture here. Now, let's take a look at, and see, I don't have the next button right now. If I click on the student view, I still don't have the next button because there's nothing else in my module. So if I come back to modules, you'll notice I have my introduction to plants. Let's add the next piece. So we're going to have students discuss that question that I started the unit with. And I'll call this plant discussion. Add that as an item. If I go ahead and click on the discussion, I can go to edit, and I can say, please discuss our unit question. What do plants need to survive and thrive? Please be respectful to your peers. Maybe I'll give some sort of criteria of what they have to do. So maybe I'll say, let's do a style here, heading 2, criteria. So this is what they need to do, and I'll say, let's pretend this is going to be worth 4 points. I know I'm going to set this to grading, and then I'll say 2 points for posting a thoughtful response to the question, and then 2, and let's see, 2. I'm going to change the formatting on this in a moment. 2 points for responding to at least 2 of your peers. Okay, I'm going to make this a list. So if I come over here to my 3 dots, I can change that. I'm just going to make that a bulleted list. Okay. Now you'll notice that I'm posting this to everyone. I'm not going to add an attachment. An attachment I might add might be a PDF that would help their discussion. Allow threaded replies. That means that they'll be nested under each person's answer. And I usually like to do this one. Users must post before seeing replies. This way they have to see they have to develop their answer before they can see others. I'm going to make it graded, and I'm going to say 4 points. Okay, and I'm going to give, and you might want to set a due date. I'm going to set the due date at the end of the month. Okay. I usually don't like to set these available from until, because there's always going to be a student that has to turn in something late, and if you have it expire with this until date, it can be problematic. So I usually just put a due date in there. This way people can still submit it late. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Publish. And now I have added a discussion. I can check with the eyeglasses to see what it looks like for students. That looks good to me. And then if I come back to, let's come back to modules. Now we should get that next button. Yep, so I can click next, and there's my plant discussion. Okay, let's come back to the modules page. I'm going to leave the student view, and now we need to add, so we've added a page, we've added a discussion. I'd like to add an assignment and a quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and add an assignment. This is going to be a new assignment, and we'll call this Plants and Humans. Add that item. Okay. And let's say this is going to be worth, this would be worth a little more than our last assignment. I'm going to have it set to 10 points. So there I might have a task, criteria, purpose. Okay, all of these I'm going to set as headings. And I'm going to do them all as heading level 2. Okay. People need to eat plants to be healthy. This assignment will give you a chance to learn about why eating fruits and vegetables are important. Okay. Task, please write a 1-page essay on the importance of fruits and vegetables to a balanced diet. You will find information on this in our science textbook on page 122. So that's a pretend, but I would want to make sure that there's some sort of resource for the students to see, to learn about. I'm not just going to turn them wild. So maybe I might say, look at your textbook. You may also take a look at our Google folder of articles. So let's say maybe we had some magazine articles related to nutrition. Okay, criteria, I'm going to say see rubric below, and we'll add that rubric in a moment. We can't add it here though when we're authoring the page. Under the task, it might also be helpful. I'm going to put maybe heading 3, example. And I might say this linked file could serve as an essay example. Now I'm going to upload a file that's not going to be the actual file, but I just want to go through the mechanics to show you how you would do that. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Document, and I'm going to upload a document. And in my case, I'm just going to go and grab one of my syllabi, grab the syllabus for this class, click Open, and I'll click Submit. And this way, there's a file now, a file that can be downloaded by the students, and they can look at that as an example. Criteria, they're going to see the rubric below in just a moment. Display, this is points. Submission type, now I don't want them to give me a paper on paper. I want them to make it an online submission. So maybe they could type it as a text entry. Website URL, maybe they might link to it, maybe if it's on Google Drive. Or they could do a file upload. I'm not going to restrict the file types, but you might restrict file types to such as some things like PDF or DocX. So I might say PDF, DOC, DOCX, but I'm going to actually leave that empty. I'm going to let them upload anything, and they can unlimited attempt it. That means if they decide to revise it, they could do it again. I'm not going to turn on peer reviews or anonymous grading, but I will set a due date. I'm going to set that at the end of the month, and I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Publish. So that would be the skeleton of creating an assignment. Okay. If I come back to my modules, We're almost done. We're just going to add one more piece, and that last one will be a quiz. So I'm going to take this drop down, change this to quiz, new quiz, and we'll just call this plant quiz. Add item. Okay, you can edit that. I'm going to go ahead and edit. Title is plant quiz. This information is just kind of the header material that students will read before they start answering the questions. And I'll just say, please try your best. Okay, now I can come over to questions, this tab, and I can add a new question. And I might say, what part of the plant makes food? Okay, and I might say roots, stem, leaves, flower. Okay. Now you'll notice this green box is next to roots, which is not the correct answer. So I want to say, I want to do the one with leaves, so it's the red box underneath. If I double click the arrow next to it, it changes it to the correct answer. I can give feedback. That's what this little box that popped up. So if I click on this box, I could say, great job for a correct answer. And then I can give generic feedback for a wrong answer. I could say, try the quiz again. Okay. I could put a link to a video maybe in the wrong answer that would maybe help them. Maybe if I did this, how does a seed become a plant? So I can copy that link that I used in the last video. I can paste that in there. And I'm always hitting a space after I put a link. And I can click done. And now this way, if they get the question wrong, they get a little feedback to help them get the correct answer. So that's one question. And I encourage you to explore the help on using other kinds of questions. I'll just add one more question, maybe a fill in the blank. So a fill in the blank, we have to provide it with the exact answer. So I might say, what is the part of the plant that makes seeds? Okay. Now, possible answers would be flower with a capital F, flower with no capital. Maybe I have a typo in here too, FLOW, flower. So only these answers, if students type them exactly like that, would be correct. Okay, so this probably wouldn't be a good example for that kind of question. I'm going to come back to the details. And another thing is we can allow multiple attempts. So I think it's okay to let children take a test more than once. And I'm going to let them see the correct answers. I'm not going to restrict anything. This would be if you wanted to limit where they could take it. But I do want to set a deadline. So I'm going to set it for the 26th. I'm going to click Save and Publish. Okay. Now, you have to create a quiz with 5 questions. I only have 2 right now. But I do strongly urge you to preview the quiz. So if I click this preview button, let's see, what part of the plant makes food? I'm going to give a wrong answer on purpose. And then let's try the correct answer for flower. Submit the quiz. Okay. So it looks like I got this one wrong. And it showed me the correct answer was leaves. And then this one, I got it correct. I want to edit it, so maybe I don't show the correct answer. So if let's see, let students see their quiz feedback. So I'm going to uncheck this, let the students see the correct answers. Okay. I am sorry this video is a little long, but if I come back to my modules, you'll see now I have all the required elements. Thank you for watching. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll see you next time.